How does a young man go from this smiling face to running in the woods to being found with his head severed from his body? No one seems to know. What really happened to Rasheem Carter?
October the 1st, my son texted me. This was after him and I had gotten off the phone. He said, me and the owner of this company not seeing eye to eye, Mama. His name, which I can't say at this time, but if anything happened to me, he's responsible for it. I'm too smart, Mama. He got these guys wanting to kill me. And that's what he said to me.
And then he went missing.
I'll start this story where I start all my stories, at the beginning. October 4th, 2022. The Laurel Police Department is seeking the public's assistance in locating a missing person. Rasheem Carter, black, male, 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, 25 years of age, of Fayette, was last seen at the Super 8 Hotel on October 2nd, 2022. No vehicle description is available, and Carter has been placed on NCIC as a missing person. His remains were found a month later, just 1 mile south of town. Thank you to the public who turned in pertinent information regarding Carter's whereabouts. At this time, we have no reason to believe foul play was involved, but the case is still under investigation. The remains were transported to MS Crime Lab for DNA confirmation. Please continue to keep the family in your prayers. Edited to add, we want to reiterate that this is an ongoing investigation. Other agencies, including MBI and FBI, have assisted as well. All details have been given solely to the mother, and if and when she wants anything additional released, or if we find anything else that the public needs to know, we will release that information at that time. If you have information that you feel could be of help in this case, please call Crime Stoppers at 601-355-TIPS or 8477. Fast forward to Wednesday, March 15th. Plot twist. Foul play isn't off the table in Mississippi man's death, sheriff says. After getting criticized by the public, Smith County Sheriff Joel Houston explained his reasoning that no foul play was suspected in the alleged murder of a Mississippi man, Rasheem Carter, per NBC News. He said, at the time the investigation started, there was no reason to believe it was a homicide. Houston said the department announced no foul play was suspected to ease public concern after finding no evidence Carter was chased. However, the family previously suggested Carter's signals of distress ahead of his disappearance were enough to support the assumption he was killed. I agree. They also slammed the sheriff for trying to push the case under the rug. The sheriff said Carter's colleagues and supervisor mentioned in their interviews that Carter had not been himself for about a week before he went missing. They said his whole demeanor had changed. They weren't sure what was going on, Houston said. They just said he kept to himself more. He usually joked around, and in the last week or so, they weren't able to do that. Regardless of Carter's mental state, there are a few suspicious factors about his death that the police must find answers for. His remains were found scattered, and his skull shows his head was severed, which authorities have vaguely attributed to an animal attack. Also, despite his ID and bank cards being found with his belongings, his phone was missing, per the sheriff. His family said the day before his disappearance, Carter went to Taylorsville Police Department and reported that he feared for his safety because men were after him. They say they believe his killing might have been racially motivated. The condition of the remains at the time of the autopsy make it difficult to determine exact timing of the injuries, and states there were signs of animal activity on the remains clouding the picture. The medical examiner ruled that the cause and manner of death are both undetermined in the report. Carter's head was severed from his body, and his spinal cord recovered in an area separate from his head. They have recently found remains that they believe are also Rasheem Carter, at another part of where he went missing. And what that tells us? This was a nefarious act. This was an evil act. Somebody murdered Rasheem Carter, and we cannot let them get away with this. This doesn't seem like the act of just one individual, Crump said during the press conference. It kind of lines up with what Tiffany said. There was a lynch mob of 3 trucks chasing her son before he went missing. Days before he was reported missing, Carter discussed with his mother his concerns for his safety, detailed in a text message between the two. My son told me that it was 3 truckloads of white guys trying to kill him. And at that time, he told me, as a mother, I had to think fast. So I told him to go to the police station because I felt in my heart they would serve and protect like they're obligated to do. Carter visited the Taylorsville Police Department on 2 separate occasions leading up to his disappearance. According to Chief of Laurel Police Department Tommy Cox, whose department filed the initial missing persons case after the family came to them for help.
October the 1st, my son texted me. This was after him and I had gotten off the phone. He said, me and the owner of this company not seeing eye to eye, Mama. His name, which I can't say at this time, but if anything happened to me, he's responsible for it. I'm too smart, Mama. He got these guys wanting to kill me. And that's what he said to me.
And then he went missing.